guys, welcome back to Falafel Reacts. Thank you so much for being here. On this channel, we used to react to gorlworld content, so Amberlyn Reed and Foodie Beauty, but I'm noticing a change in the universe, a change in the planets. I don't know, something's gone awry in the world, and that is the seemingly increased number of online scammers and grifters that I've been noticing. I don't know if this is all just coming up now because there's a hyper focus on Foodie Beauty Chantal as a grifter. I mean, a failed grifter because it never really goes anywhere, but a grifter and a scammer in her, intentionality nonetheless. And I've just been noticing scammers everywhere and people grifting everywhere online. And sometimes it's amusing. Most of the time it's troubling. And today, I guess I just wanted to talk about one of the more notorious scammers online and look at some of her TikToks and just talk about it together, okay? I have so many ideas for reactions, and almost all of them involve scamming of some kind. There's just so much scamming on social media. And I think that the more content we can put out to counter the narratives of the scammers, the better, because the internet is a scary place and there's nothing we can do about it. And, kids are on it, all kinds of people are on it. And as you're scrolling, you see someone asking for money. And if you don't know them and you don't recognize any of their lore, you probably feel bad, because a lot of these scammers online, that's what they do. They prey upon people's kindness, people's empathy. And even when a person will have very little, if they're an empathetic and good person, they'll give, a slice of what little they have. And I guess I've been thinking about that with all of the latest stuff going down with Foodie Beauty Chantal. If you're interested, you can watch the last video I did on her. Her newest scam is trying to get $10,000 from people to flee Syria and go back to Canada and to buy a bed and furniture for her apartment. And I guess I was just so dumbfounded by people actually giving her money. Not just that, but people saying, hey, this is all I can give you now. I'm going to wait for my next paycheck to hit and then I'll give you more. And I don't know, it was so alarming to me. I mean, I think that we're just in such an interesting point in the universe where everything is viewed on social media. So many people are on social media. It's like the ultimate unifier in a sense. And it's this meeting of the worst of the worst and the most empathetic and most kind. So you literally have the nicest people, people that will give you the shirt off their back. And then you have the scammers and the grifters that are trying to rip the shirt off your back. And I guess I just can't stop thinking about this. So, yeah, I'm just connecting it to a lot of other scammers. And I just feel like talking shit about other scammers, honestly. I feel like contributing to their downfall is my newfound, I don't know, it's just something that's inspiring me. So if I see you and you're a scammer, you should be worried, okay? If you're a scammer, if you're a grifter, if you are trying to take people's hard-earned money because you are too lazy to work, I can spot that shit from a mile away, okay? I went to Foodie Beauty school. I've been trained, okay? So today we are discussing Tophiachu. Tophiachu? I think that's how you say your name. That's not really her name. Her name is Tophia, I believe is how you say it. And she's famous on TikTok. I will show you her page right now. This is her page. As you can see, she has almost 500,000 followers, but look how many likes. 33.6 million likes, okay? She makes money from social media predominantly. She has been involved in a lot of scandals, a lot of controversy. The main one surrounds her grifting, asking people for money, unwillingness to work. She is also part of a larger TikTok community of people that have gotten famous through showcasing a lifestyle in which they are living in poverty. They start off living in poverty, and as they make more money, they still don't get out of it. So it's almost a glorification of extremely poor finances and then a blaming of the audience when they're not getting money anymore. So that's where the scam parts comes in. And this is not to be confused with other content creators that showcase realistic day in my life, or this is actually how it looks like to make budget meals, or this is how an unaesthetic household looks like. That's a different part of social media where people they're not like asking for money. They're not trying to solicit anything. They're just showing their real lives, and people enjoy that content in a lot more of a genuine way because they like it's more relatable, and there's no scamming element to it. Granted, a lot of those people, they do social media and they get money on the side and it helps them, but there's no like, please give me money to continue showing you how much of a train wreck I am. Tophiachu, I hope I'm saying her name right. She is part of, like I said, a group of people that they ask you to keep paying for their lives, and their lives don't improve, and they continue being a hot mess. They continue saying controversial stuff. Recently, I believe her brother passed away, and so she was offline for a while. That wasn't really a controversy. I mean, it was kind of a controversy, but I'm not trying to get into all that. I'm more so when it comes to these people, like what goes on in their personal lives is one thing, but I'm always most interested in what they're posting and what they're saying, and I'm not trying to, necessarily have conversations about things that are happening off camera, or although I know there was an element of like her bringing her family online and stuff. So I guess I just want to be respectful and not talk about a family members of her that passed, because really that's like the least problem that I have with her. What do you guys notice about this page? What do you notice that we recently noticed with Chantal? Look, the Cash App. Girl, you're 31 years old. Okay, you're a big girl. You're an adult. And the Cash App. I don't know, that just like bothers me. That just bothers me. It just bothers me. I don't know. I was gonna try to psychoanalyze why it bothers me when people like are begging for money. You know what? I think I know why it bothers me. And it bothers me because of how she talks about people that have regular jobs, okay? To ask for money is one thing, to be in a difficult situation is one thing, but when you couple it with how you talk about how it grosses you out that people have jobs and they work and they're losers because they work, which is what we're going to get into, then I'm like, oh, okay, scammer, grifter. You're a scammer, grifter. It's funny. You don't want people to criticize you for being a scammer, but you'll criticize someone for going to their job. Okay. So let's just look at her stuff. Be looking at TikToks not from her account, because the things that she says are out of order on her account, obviously, because she's showing random stuff. This is another TikTok account, Stuff Tophia Says. And yeah, it's just a collection with dates, right? With so like a timestamp of when she actually said the thing, and her video's in it, so it's verified. I thought we would just go through that, and it's basically a TikTok live archive, which I really appreciate. So she does gross stuff, you guys. If you're eating, don't.
Yeah, they're gonna give me the money. Yay, my brother's gonna get buried. And the rest of the money is going to us, so yeah, they're
Once again, this is what I mentioned, that her brother has passed away. Yeah, she goes live on TikTok every single day for like a while, and it's always grifting. It's always asking for money. Here she's picking her nose and eating. I don't know. It's just a funny way to start.
Who cares? Who cares if you're clocking into a job? Sad. You gotta clock into a job. Imagine having to go to work and clock into a job. Couldn't be me. Who cares? Who cares if you're clocking in?
It kind of blows my mind that a lot of these people online that are known for like grifting and scamming are also morbidly obese, which she is. Which is like, that kind of shows the priority of your food, because we've reached a point in our economy where fast food is not cheaper. Actually, fast food, like cheap, gross fast food, is more expensive than going to Aldi and buying groceries and making your own meal. So that's something that I noticed. But this is like part of a larger narrative that she goes on a lot, which is just like no, why would I want to get a job? Like it's pathetic that you're even clocking into a job. You should feel embarrassed. So she goes on this in a lot of her TikToks, and it just blows my mind. It's like, I mean, listen, I don't think kids or young people should be on TikTok anyways, or like any social media. If I have kids, like they're Amish, okay, they're gonna be Amish, because just social media is such a toxic place. But I just don't like this narrative that young people are being exposed to, which is like regular work is shameful, it's disgraceful, you're a loser, you're pathetic, like you have to be always like trying to hustle in some kind of like social media way, or like make it big on TikTok, or God forbid go like to OnlyFans or something like that. And I just feel like that is like the normalized conversation amongst like younger people now, and this is part of that. I don't think a lot of people like are in like she's influential because she's a train wreck to watch, but I don't think people are actually taking life advice from her. But she's just part of this echo chamber of people that put other people down for having normal lives, normal jobs. When that is still like when you go on social media, you think that most people make it big on social media, but that's not the case. Most people are just most people. And when you go out into the world, everyone that you see has a normal job. And I don't think that that should be shamed. This is, I don't know, this is like part of the whole like get rich quick scheme, which is ironic because she benefits from people consuming her content. Like that's how she makes money. If other people were creators, they're not going to be spending that much time watching her because they're going to be creating. But usually when people consume a lot of social media, it's in the context of they're working or they're relaxing from work or they're commuting, they're on their way from work or something like that. Or it's like an escape from their job. So it's just ironic that the idea that she's like the source of her income goes against her ideas about work.
We had a place to stay. We had a place to live. They were willing to work with us. But you know what happened? The internet, the place that we had last year, and then celebrated we didn't have a place and we were homeless. We had a place. We could have kept that place paid. So, anyways, my brother had an issue with his check, and then he went to go get the money. He came back, he got a ride, and he went to go get the money. So then we're sitting here, we're waiting, and this lady comes banging on the door, the rude lady, and she's like, "You're gonna have to pack. You're gonna have to get out." And I said, "Well, the other lady gave us till 6."
I don't see why it's rude to get evicted if you haven't paid your rent. Okay? Like I don't that's not rude. That's just called the reality of the situation. And yes, a lot of like rental companies, like the huge management, like those evil corporations that like are exploiting, like ruining the housing market for like Americans that want to buy homes. Like that is messed up. But a lot of landlords are just like mom and pop landlords, and like that's also how they make money. So to not pay them is shitty, is actually terrible. And also, even if you are renting from like a huge corporation, why would you be shocked that you're getting evicted if you don't pay? If you owned a business and I walked into it, if she owned a business and I walked in and I grabbed stuff off the shelf and I left and she's like, well, you have to pay. I'm like, well, no, yeah, like, yeah, I would pay, but I don't have money. How's that her problem? Like, I still have to pay because I'm trying to get a good, I'm trying to get a service. So like that is another thing too with a lot of these girlies that like to glorify. It's a glorification of poverty in my opinion, because no matter how much access to money they get and they have the privilege of being on social media and people watching them and they get money, their lives don't improve. She had an eviction in 2022. And I'm like, you're 31, okay? If you're living with like an elderly parent or you have a sibling or whatever, like go out and work and like rent a place that is like more affordable for your means or a budget. And that's like the same criticism that I give Chantal. It's like you are in a privileged position where you don't have to go into work. Some people have to work multiple jobs, multiple shifts back to back, and some of the work is hard and grueling, and some of the work is dangerous and hazardous. And you don't have to do all of that, and you're still not able to budget. It just makes it hard as a viewer to feel bad for you, knowing that there are other people that have it so much worse as it relates to their job, and like you're complaining about it. I'm not saying never complain, but how are you going to complain, keep your life a hot mess, and still ask for money? You can't do all that.
Let me go talk to so-and-so. I'm not going to name people because they don't need to be named in this situation. We go to the office to pay, and the night said he's working, and I was like, thank God, maybe we'll get our room back. She's like, no, we had to put you on do not rent. They put you on a do not rent list because corporate said we're having issues with you paying rent, which was only twice. Mind you, the first time she said that she made some calls because something wasn't right, and then she said
it doesn't matter. If you don't pay your rent, you don't pay your rent. Like, it does not matter. If you don't, I don't understand, like, it's only twice. Like, I only stole from the store twice. Like, what are you talking about? Like, either rent a place that you can afford. And I understand, like, the housing market, the rental market is insane. Trust me. I've, like, been in situations where it's like, how is this even legal? How can landlords charge this much? But there is what we think should happen in the world and, like, our ideals for society. And then there is how it actually is. So like maybe I don't agree. Maybe, I mean, I believe everyone in the world, like there is enough space and wealth and materials on planet Earth where everyone should get a free, nice house with a yard and no one should be homeless. Okay, like that's something that I believe and I would love for everyone to have. But that's not the reality that we live in. So until we get there, until we get to that utopia, you have to like abide by the constructs of rent and like you got to pay your rent. it doesn't bother me that people don't pay their rent. It bothers me in these situations when people don't pay their rent, then they come online to complain to their 33.5 million audience members and cry about it and then link their Cash App. Like, why is there this expectation more than ever, seemingly, like where people don't have shame, where there's an expectation that you need to subsidize my bad decisions? I don't understand where, like, as a society, the audacity came to these people and why we allow it to happen.
For 2 days. So then I was like, okay. We had a place. Why are you defending German people? The same people that want white power. You're literally.
To any of my German followers, I know I have a few of you guys are gonna be pissed by this, okay? This is like typical, like, this is very her. It's like extreme ignorance. But I don't know, it's kind of amusing to watch.
Defending racist people that literally were the reason for a whole Holocaust. Imagine having someone that was in the Holocaust and you're defending that.
She just went on like a weird tirade about Germans. Like,
you are just dumb. You're stupid.
I'm sorry. I'm about to get petty and rude, and if you're not here for that, click off this video. I'm about to get really, really rude. You cannot have that face and that body yada yada and come online with Cash App in your bio complaining about how you only missed 2 months of rent. That's why you got evicted. Lies, first of all. But you cannot have all of this and come online and point at me and say that I'm dumb for having a job. You're dumb. You're stupid. You have a job. You're stupid. If that's what it means to be stupid, first of all, if you're calling me stupid, I'm doing something right. If you think I'm dumb, I don't want you to think, I don't want you to have I don't want you to think good things about me, because I do not trust your brain. I do not trust your thought process. I do not trust the machinations of your mind. So I need you to have an opposing view of me, because I don't trust the source. Can you just imagine you're on TikTok, you're scrolling, and this lady's like, you're dumb. You're stupid. You're dumb. You have to clock into your job. You're dumb and you're stupid and you're pathetic. By the way, give me money. This is what Chantal does. She just looks different, but this is what Chantal does.
No.
They should collab. Her and Chantal should collab.
Why are you defending? You are just dumb. You're stupid. No wonder why you worked as a maid. You couldn't get a job anywhere else.
To say it's you work as a maid because you're dumb, I think points to how shrunken her brain was, or perhaps that her brain never fully formed. I don't know, maybe the prefrontal cortex like never came through or something. But to try to correlate a type of job with a brain or like level of intellect, it's just so dumb. Like, it's like so obviously wrong and dumb. I don't even, like, some things are so basic. Like, I can't explain to you how I breathe air because it's like so obvious. So like, how do I don't even have the vocabulary to explain that as a concept. I don't, like, you're dumb because you work as a maid, you couldn't get any other job. I just feel the need to point out that you currently don't have a job, Tophia. Like, right now, so if I'm just following your logic, okay, your logic is that if you work as a maid, you're dumb and you're stupid because you couldn't get a better job. So if I reverse engineer your thought process, wouldn't that imply that you are exceptionally dumb and stupid because you don't have a job at all, apart from coming online and begging for money? Like, it's just such a blatant disrespect. Yeah. I noticed this a lot with watching like this type of person on social media, where they grow up in poverty and that's how they display it, and then they get money and they don't know what to do with it. As soon as they get a little bit of money, it's so crazy how they look down on people that they deem as below them. Well, let me tell you something. The person that's a maid is showing up to work every single day, is doing hard, grueling work in which people don't appreciate. People often don't even notice. Like, they don't even visually notice or see service people. Like, they just don't see them. Like, imagine how it feels to imagine like going to work and you're invisible and like people don't perceive you. And I would also say that it's a hazardous job in a lot of situations, depending on where you are cleaning or where you're doing that service. It's hazardous, and it's oftentimes, it's not like a job where you have coworkers at the same time. You're alone. And it's often a job exclusively for women. It's a female dominated job, and it pays very little. And all of that, what does that require? That requires, like, first of all, street smarts, because you're interacting with a lot of people. You're noticing and seeing things that people are talking about or doing or what they leave behind. It takes work ethic, because a lot of times you have to like work late at night or early in the morning. It takes consistency. It takes reliability. Like, for her to say it's stupid is like, girl, you're stupid. That's like the best comeback I guess I can think about. It's like, you're picking your nose online, begging for money. You're 450 pounds and you're making fun of someone that has a respectable job. A person whose job it is to clean after others, to like to give cleanliness to a place. Like what is more dignifying than to clean?
Like, hello.
Well, actually, maybe she looks down on that because she is notoriously gross and disgusting. So like cleaning for her is like weird. So I think maybe that's what it is. I think because she's so gross and disgusting, like she doesn't like cleaning. That like grosses her out. She wants things to stay filthy.
Like, what kind of a dummy gets paid to hold up a sign? You couldn't pay me to hold up a sign even if I wanted to. It doesn't matter how much money.
Oh, okay. I think she's talking about like, people that stand outside of shops, or not shops, but like businesses when they're doing like a promotion or something and they hold a sign and they dance around with it and stuff. I know. First of all, calling any job, no, actually, there are jobs that I would extremely look down upon. Yeah, and I don't know. Maybe this is controversial, but I think any kind of like OnlyFans stuff, I look down upon that. I judge that because it does not align with my worldview. And it's okay if you disagree, but also I'm not like going out of my way to find someone that I know works on OnlyFans. I'm not gonna bully them. I just look down upon that as a job. But like most, what else is like a terrible job? I don't know, like creating weapons, creating weapons of mass destruction. I guess whoever's making that is like, it's like not a good, respectable job. Yeah, okay, so I'm sure I can think of jobs that are like bad, but I just in general think that we should not look down at like service jobs or any jobs, like any kind of honest labor, unless it's like a horrific, I don't know, perpetrator of war crimes. I don't know if that's like your job, then obviously that's like a bad job and I will like shame you for that. But I don't get her angle. Like she just looks so dumb trying to talk about this.
You are just dumb. Yes, I do contribute to the economy because I pay taxes. You know, when you make money on social media, it's not 100% free that you got to pay taxes. You don't contribute anything to society because it sounds like projection. You don't get to tell someone what a job is or isn't when if you have to pay taxes on money, it's a job. I'm sorry, my bad that you can't have this as a job.
Yeah, I mean I've talked about this before. I just think it's like good for a person to be part of a community, and that's not always to have a traditional job. That's just like being a part of like a church or a library or the senior center, like doing things that are like contributing to the neighborhood that you live in. I even said HOA and people came after me, but I don't know, like the concept of like being part of an HOA is like you help direct decisions for your community, right? Like, I don't know. So yeah, like anything can be a job. Obviously being a social media person or TikToker, that is a job. Like, and a lot of times it can be, I'm not going to say harder. There's no way in hell I'm going to say anything on social media is harder than like any regular job. It's not. But it can be more difficult in the sense that it's hard to like create separation and boundaries. So it's like a completely a legitimate job, especially if you pay taxes. Like, yeah, that's fine. But that's not my issue with you, girl. My issue is that you're putting down people that have other jobs in an attempt to elevate yourself. And all it does is just point out how dumb you are and like how like low self-esteem you have. Because if you were just like a well-adjusted normal individual, you wouldn't feel the need to like make fun of someone for being a maid. Like, what? You would understand and recognize that that's a job that people do.
Maybe just quit your job and then go live. Like, if you hate your job that much, just say that. Like, a lot of people, it's giving they mad they have to get up and clock in. Okay? I could clock in whenever I want. I actually get paid to do ads. Unlike you, you know, you have to clock in.
I mean, yeah, okay, she does get ad revenue, obviously, but you also beg people for money and you also have your Cash App in your bio, so She's talking with her whole chest about a whole lot of nothing.
mop floors. But for you to tell someone something isn't a job is like me saying where you work is not a job for you. Let's be for real. You don't have a real job then if you're saying I don't have a real job. Any job that pays taxes is a real job. So you're saying because you pay taxes it's not a real job. So get your life together then. Because I'm self-employed. Self-employed people have to pay their taxes. They don't get tax returns, they gotta pay them. If you're self-employed, you gotta pay your taxes.
Well, everyone does.
I don't make enough to be paying taxes right now. Because I think it's over like 10K, right? Or something like that. Yes, I do contribute to the economy.
She said she doesn't make enough? Oh, okay. So she's on like the poverty level, maybe. I don't know.
So Tophia has been either kicked out of the homeless shelter she was staying in, or she left voluntarily. We don't know which, but she's on.
I'm sorry, like I don't know. Maybe I'm an asshole. Feel free to let me know. I have a really hard time feeling bad for a plea like this. You are an adult. You were making money online. I understand that sometimes in the blink of an eye, your whole world can change. You can become disabled. You can get into an accident. You can lose your job. So like things that happen in the blink of an eye that a person does not prepare for, obviously you cannot blame them, but it's been like this for years. For years, she's been, seemingly her whole life, she's been in a terrible financial situation. So then when she says, I have an emergency, I don't have money, please send me money on PayPal. It's like, you do this all the time though. It's just like with Chantal. It really is just like with Foodie Beauty. Like your bankruptcies have been on you for how many years? How many years have you known about this? And you've never tried to address it. And so when you were getting brand deals, when you were making a lot of money from ads, you had a lot of, how come you didn't save that for a rainy day? Because you were too dumb to do that. So why is that my problem? Why is that like now my problem? Like a lot of these situations, I don't doubt that it's genuine. I don't doubt that Foodie genuinely wants to go to Canada. I don't doubt that she was probably genuinely like unhoused in this moment, but your lack of preparation is not my problem, I guess is the best way I can say it.
On Instagram right now, and she's freaking out, and she's doing what she does.
And look at this. And for those asking if I'm okay, no, I'm not okay. I keep being put in danger. Then you have to pay your bills. You have to pay your rent so that you can stay in a place that's safe. Like, then don't go and spend your money on like ridiculous TikTok shop stuff. Like, just don't do that. And then like, that's what all of these girls do. Okay. Like they will ask you for money. They'll expect this and that. And as soon as you like question it, because whenever someone gives you money, the dynamic of the relationship changes. It's not the same anymore. And then they feel entitled to answers. That's what happens when you accept money from someone. It always comes with strings. There's never a situation where there are no strings attached, like ever. Okay? People feel entitled to answers. And you can't just like take people's money and say, no, I don't want to talk about it. It's personal. It's private. I don't want to say the whole thing. Like it's too, I don't want to give out my business. Well, you kind of forfeited that when you asked and further received money because you changed how this relationship was. This person is now no longer a viewer. They're an investor. So they're helping you.
Is begging for money because she needs somewhere to stay. Tophia's been staying in this shelter for a few months now. As we all know, homeless shelters are not a permanent solution. This particular shelter, I don't know how they all work, but I know that this one that she was staying at, they require you to work on yourself while you're staying there. They give lots of resources. It's one of like the nicest shelters in Albuquerque. They give.
And listen, I'm not going to say any homeless shelter or shelter is nice, okay? I used to work with a lot of people that used to go through shelters, like, or like help refer them to like resources and stuff. And like none of those situations, especially for women, especially for moms or single moms. I mean, even for men, but like especially for any kind of person that maybe has an intellectual disability, a physical disability, is elderly, is a minor, like it's a difficult situation. So I'm not going to go as far as to agree with what this commentator is saying and that it's nice. I don't know that I would classify shelter that's nice, but it is true that in a lot of places there's a lot of resources, and a lot of times a lot of people that go through homeless shelters, the trauma that they've experienced has been so, it's like stalled them mentally. And so you can see that a part of them shuts down because of that trauma. And a large part of like what social workers, what therapists, what community workers try to do is they try to like empower you and make you feel like, no, you can get a job. You deserve to have a job. You deserve to live in dignity. You can, you will, and you deserve it. And so they kind of try to jolt you to get like this feeling. And the way that they do that is they say, if you want to stay here, you must get a job, and you can get a job, and you deserve to get a job, and you are qualified for a job. So like there's a lot of that talking going on. And so it's good to hear that like she's in a place where it's encouraging her, but she's not that kind of person. She does not like, she thinks that she's above that. It's like, no, I don't need to have a regular job like these other people. And so when you have that mindset, you are not going to succeed. When you constantly think you're better than other people and you look down upon them, like it lowers you. Like you then descend into the cesspool.
Lots of resources for the people there to work on themselves so that when their time there is up, they leave in a better place than where they came in. And so you're expected to look for work. You're expected to look for permanent housing.
Right.
All sorts of things. And they give you all these resources. And Tophia has apparently not been taking advantage of any of it. Tophia has been doing nothing except going on live on TikTok.
Yeah,
and
right?
Fighting with people and arguing and talking down to people and not doing what she's supposed to do.
Well, there's a job for that. I was going to say like a bouncer, but no, bouncers have to be really good at de-escalating. But she looks like she's security heavy, right? As Cardi B said, yeah, she looks like she's security heavy. She could be security, but like, yeah, I mean, this is like par for the course for her. Like she'll just go online and talk crap about other people that have a regular job when she's literally in a homeless shelter where one of the stipulations is that you have to go and look for a job.
And now her time there is up. And she's either been kicked out or
And that's not an emergency. That's not an emergency. Yeah, she does a lot of like Amberlynn Reid, like thirst trap stuff, which just like is really funny to me.
Connections with those people. I don't got connections with cartel people. I got connections with people who got connections with those people. And those people tend to stay away from that, but you keep messing with me and I'll really show you what it's like, okay? Because I don't...
Yeah, I mean, this is just like extreme emotional immaturity and like stagnation. She's like arrested development or like stunted. Because like, who is coming on live? Girl, like, how do you even... Aren't you like in crisis homeless mode? Like you should be literally like walking from business to business, trying to get a job, trying to get hired on the spot, trying to like do anything you can, like driving Uber, whatever it may be. And she's online threatening people that annoy her with her fake cartel connections.
Make threats to people. These people need to leave me alone. I don't got connections with cartel. Who's not bringing up my brother? I'm so sick and tired of people being like, stop, nobody's bringing up your brother. Okay, well then what's that comment? They didn't have to lie to people. Fund what lifestyle? If I had a lifestyle, I wouldn't be living in a shelter. Hello? What's not clocking to you? What's not clocking to you that I'm standing on? And you know that those, that Garcias are like criminal. A lot of Garcias have been behind a lot of crime. The guy that unalived my brother, Peter Garcia.
Yeah, this is one of her controversies is like how she talks about like Hispanic people. And like this is an example of that where she's saying people that have the last name Garcia commit a lot of crime. I mean, again, like that's just like so dumb. I don't even know how to respond to that. Like one of the comments here says it best. Does she think all Garcias are related or something? She might really think that everyone with that very common last name is related. So what do you even say to this? What do you even say?
We missed you. Oh, that's not... Why is everyone missing me? Someone told me that yesterday. They missed me. And I saw them yesterday. They were like, I miss you. And I was like, I just seen you yesterday.
Also, if you're struggling with money and I see you with fake nails, I don't want to talk about your money problems. I mean, granted, hers are probably press-on. And someone mentioned Temu, so it's probably like very, very cheap. Although not cheap anymore with all the tariffs. A lot of like Chinese companies are having to charge a lot for shipping. But yeah, like nails are expensive. Getting your nails done is expensive. And so to prioritize that when you're also like grifting on and scamming for money, it's like, how about you just like don't get your nails done and save yourself like $150?
What? I not gonna bring her up because then she leaves. I'm trying to get to the bag. I need to help some people. I need to help my peeps. I need a place with a swimming pool, grill, and how.
Yeah, one of on the foodie beauty video that I posted this morning or earlier, yeah, this morning. One of the comments said like act your wage, and like she's literally begging for money online because she needs a place with a pool and a barbecue. And it's like, I would like for you to have those. I mean, I don't think that like I said, I want everyone to achieve their dreams so long as their dreams do not involve impeding on other people's like freedom. But like, sure, why not? But it's the same thing as Chantal saying, I need $10,000. Oh, you mean just for your flight because you're in an emergency situation, you're trying to leave Syria? Well, no, I also need a bed. I'm gonna need stuff like a nightstand and a couch and furniture. And, I'm not gonna have a car, so I'm gonna need a rental for a few days. So, like, the list is growing. It's like, okay, I'm not opposed to you having a car, but don't grift for it. Like, act your wage. Right now, you don't have enough money for that, so you can't want that. You don't have the money for it. So save up the money like the rest of us and then get it. So, like, her saying that she needs a place with a pool and a barbecue is just so funny to me. It's like, girl, act your wage. And right now your wage is a person that is in a homeless shelter, adamant about not working. Adamant. And the fact that she may even have people that she can, like, for a lot of people that are unhoused, one of their biggest issues is that they don't have a home address, and not having a home address screws you in a lot of situations. And so you can't get a job. You, like, think about going to an interview when you're not showered and you're not clean and you don't have clothes. You're going to feel, like, terrible about yourself, so you're not going to show up as your best. But, like, she could easily be in a situation where she can get a short-term rental with the money she makes from social media and then have an address. So she has her ability to climb out of the situation that she's in is something that a lot of people would, probably in the same shelter she's staying at, a lot of people would kill to have access to that. The only thing that is preventing her from getting it is her laziness. Can you imagine? Can you imagine, like, you're in a homeless shelter with her and you're like, wow, you actually have an audience of millions and millions of people. If you just cleaned up your act a little bit, and were like a bit more consistent and your content wasn't just trashing people, it was like putting out other things, like, wow, you actually could make a lot of money. Imagine how frustrating that must be. So yeah, that's all I have now. I kind of just wanted to do a little taste, like a little teaser of Tophiachu, and she's kind of a trip, and I'm just like in general interested in like the scammers and the grifters, and it's just interesting to me that their lives are always like terrible. Like, I don't know, why are like scammers, like, why are they like not, why are they just not believable? I mean, I guess it's good that they're not believable, and like maybe some scammers are, which is like terrible, but I don't know. I guess I just want to talk about this with you guys, and I will probably be covering some more online scammers and maybe comparing them to Chantal. We'll see how it goes, but let me know what you guys think. I'm sure some of you watching probably know a lot more about her lore than I do. I've always kind of like vaguely known about her and her like shenanigans, but I've never like dived deep. And I don't think this was a deep dive. This was just like a surface level kind of introduction to her. But let me know what you guys think, and I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.